The World Cup, aka the greatest show on earth. 32 teams going head to head for the biggest prize in sport. But what if every Formula 1 driver was a World Cup team? 22 drivers have competed in 2022, meaning we can make two 11-a-side teams to decide the greatest Formula 1 football team of 2022. It will be up to you to decide, so wait until the end to see the two teams. My name is Joe Tyrrell, and this is the GP blog World Cup of Formula 1. Let's kick off with Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton, who will be donning the green and gold of Brazil. This was easy. Not only is Hamilton now an honorary citizen of Brazil, but he's also the most successful driver in the history of the sport, much like the Seleção and the World Cup. George Russell, he'll be representing 2010 world champions Spain, a slick, classy act, and will always be in the business end of the tournament. However, 2022 comes just too soon for Spain and Russell, but no doubt, a world championship isn't far off. Sebastian Vettel is the only driver representing his own country. Germany and Vettel both have 4 crowns to their name and are regarded in the highest degree in sporting history. However, they're not quite the same as they once were. Still unbelievably talented and legends of the game. Lance Stroll will be donning the colours of his neighbours, the USA. Probably have the biggest financial backing in the world, but do not quite hit the heights that their infrastructure would suggest. Still solid and capable, and probably deserve their place in the competition, but never in contention for the title. Fernando Alonso is a legend, 2 world championships, but has he hit the heights his potential offered? Joining him on 2 crowns are Uruguay, and he'll be representing the South American nation. Both Alonso and Uruguay are steeped in history, 2 world championships, but they now face an uphill task to add to that with underpowered players and cars. Esteban Ocon is Denmark, everyone's dark horse who have been growing and growing over the last few years. One to look out for, that's for sure. Switzerland are trying to kick it with the big boys, but just can't quite seem to crack it, and the same could be said for Lando Norris. Lots of ability, but both are yet to score a first major win, and I expect the wait to go on, but Norris's will arrive before Switzerland. Argentina are 2-time world champions, but their glory days are a thing of the past, unless Messi and co can win in 2022. Similarly, Daniel Ricciardo's best days are history, but he may be able to find a way back. Charles Leclerc is incredibly talented, as are Belgium, but their best shot at a title is over, and I don't see either of them winning with their next efforts. Leclerc's time will come, but the clock is ticking for Belgium's golden generation. One of the most popular drivers on the grid, but not quite good enough for a title tilt. Carlos Sainz reminds me of Mexico. So much talent, but not quite the full package. He'll need to channel his inner Guilherme Ochoa if he is to win the title. Alex Albon was a tough one, but I've chosen Australia for the Williams man. He probably hasn't got the materials to be competing with the big boys, but he is capable of a surprise, but people still sort of wonder, how the hell did he get here? Nicholas Latifi will be Qatar. It's often reported that Latifi only has a seat because of his financial backing, and although nothing is confirmed, the Qatar World Cup has been plagued by suggestions that money was used to gain the right to host it. Nevertheless, Latifi is one of the nicest guys on the grid, and his constant smile will be missed in the paddock. Mick Schumacher will be South Korea in our World 11. One big name in Heung-min Son, but much like Mick Schumacher, we're still expecting an early exit up against the likes of Portugal and Uruguay. K-Mag on the other hand, he's here to stay, in F1 that is. Japan are actually one of my teams in the sweepstake, so I'll be rooting for them, but expectations aren't high, so a run to the last 16 will be a success for the team. Pierre Gasly is French, but he'll be representing the team France played in the 2018 final, Croatia. Still living off one moment, Gasly's win at Monza and Croatia's victory over England. Yes, I'm still bitter. They're not the same teams they were back then, and a fresh start is needed. Yuki Tsunoda will be Ghana. Not quite sure what you're going to get, but passion, energy and charisma is guaranteed. Over at the Alfa Romeo garage, we'll start with Zhou Guanyu, and Morocco. Still untested at the top level, but clearly they have a lot of talent. We're just yet to see it in full flow. And Valtteri Bottas is the Netherlands. Runner-up on several occasions, but never quite crossed the finish line and won the crown. Not the same force they were, but still a threat. And finally Red Bull, probably my favourite one. Sergio Perez is Portugal, a team dominated by one individual who insists on the limelight. Max Verstappen is Cristiano Ronaldo, but behind every Ronaldo you have a team full of hard-working individuals. For every Ronaldo, there's a Bernardo Silva. Perez is our Bernardo Silva, and that's a compliment. I'm a massive fan of the Manchester City player, and Max Verstappen is France. Full of skill, ability, and a ridiculous amount of talent, he's probably the best in the competition, but France have a history of squad fallouts and big egos. Recent events involving the Dutchman suggest his ego is not benefiting the team, as has been the case with France in the past. We've had 2 reserve drivers feature in 2022, Nico Hulkenberg will be Wales. He spent a few years away from the big time, but he's back now, and Nick de Vries is Ecuador. We're not sure what to expect, but recent results in Formula E and Formula 1 at Monza draw similarities to Ecuador's recent results in South American qualifying. So there we have it. Our drivers have teams, and now we've got two 11s, Europe and the USA versus the rest of the world. In goal for the World 11 is Kevin Magnussen, with a back four of Yuki Tsunoda, Zhou Guanyu, Nicholas Latifi and Mick Schumacher. The 4-3-3 sees Fernando Alonso, Daniel Ricciardo and Nick de Vries in midfield, with our two wingers, on the left Lewis Hamilton and on the right Carlos Sainz providing creativity for Alex Albon up front. Our Europe and USA 11 in goal, we've got Nico Hulkenberg, back four sees Pierre Gasly, partnering new teammate Esteban Ocon at centre back, and we're hoping for that French hyperlink with Lance Stroll and Valtteri Bottas our fullbacks. George Russell's Spanish creativity is at the heart of our midfield with Sebastian Vettel and Charles Leclerc alongside him. Sergio Perez, our Bernardo Silva is on the left flank with Lando Norris on the right, and our attack is spearheaded by none other than Cristiano Verstappen. Two great teams need two great managers. Representing England will be Christian Horner. He's in the Gareth Southgate mould, bit boring, but he's capable of getting a result and could take England deep in the tournament. And the rest of the world will be masterclassed by Toto Wolff. Unfortunately, Austria didn't qualify, so he can fly the flag for Canada. So who wins? You decide. Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Enjoy the World Cup, the Formula 1 season finale, but for now, I'll catch you next week on the runoff.